What is up, Heifas and friends? Welcome to another episode of Java and Journeys with Jillian. How are you doing? If you're new here to this channel, this is your girl Jillian here with you from Universal. I know, surprise, surprise. It's like this heifer is not at Disney. No, baby. I also I gets down with Universal. The reason why your girl has not filmed anything at Universal recently is because they have odd hours and your girl is booked and busy. She works another job that takes up all of her time. And so by the time I get off of work, though Universal is only about a good 30-minute drive away from me, their hours have been so odd. Like they close sometimes at 7 o'clock and this is off peak. Now that we're getting closer to the summer, grad night is going to be on and popping here really soon. They're stay open till 9. So when those moments happen, your girl can head out over here after work. But what the heck are we doing here at Universal, you may be asking? Well, great question. We are going to head over to Lombard's. I have never been before, but it is a seafood restaurant, sit-down restaurant here at Universal. I'm going to give it a try, see what it's giving. I'm looking forward to tasting some of the food. And you know, what is Java and Journeys without a bit of Java? So you all know we're going to get into some coffee at Lombard's. That's right. At a seafood restaurant, they have coffee drinks. Yes. Because Universal is not going to do me like Epic Universe. And y'all, let me not throw Epic Universe under the bus. They do have Starbucks. But your girl's a little crestfallen because she was hoping that there would be more coffee stands. But that's okay. Universal Studios Florida is going to make up for that disappointment for me. So get ready, buckle up, get your coffee ready, and let's head over to Lombard's. Y'all know, even with us being here at Universal before we head over to Lombard's, we're going to take a quick little ride on the Mummy. And luckily the Mummy is not so intense where your girl's motion sickness gets in the way. But it is a fun, dark ride / coaster that we are going to take a ride on because I couldn't do this after eating at Lombard's. So I'm going to get into this, and then the next time I check back in with y'all, we'll be making our way over to Lombard's. So how about this, y'all? We go over to the express line because with our tier as a pass holder, we get express after 4 o'clock. Go over there and the wait is much longer than what was posted online, and our reservation at Lombard's is actually about to come up in the next 15 minutes in theory. And so there's no way we're going to be able to get through that express line within 20 minutes. I'm like, y'all, it's probably because they heard me talking shit. I should never make that comment about Epic Universe. It is the same thing. I started talking smack about Professor Dolores Umbridge when we were waiting in line trying to get on the battle at the Ministry of Magic. And that witch cursed us, y'all, because we had to wait a collected 4 hours to get on this ride. Y'all, I just need to stop jinxing myself. This is what happens when you put negative energy out into the world. So we're going to go ahead and head straight to Lombard's, and let me show you all what this view is giving. So if you have never been to Universal Studios Florida, Lombard's is actually located over by the San Francisco theme part of the park by Fisherman's Wharf. And I will say the view is so pretty and so nice. And the last time I actually spent some time staring at the view, and some of these stands you see up here is because they have grad night coming up. So they have a lot of these little spotlights and things set up. Shout out, by the way, to all of my watchers. If you are a senior in high school and you're about to graduate, class of 2025, shout out to you, congratulations. If you are a young adult, actually it doesn't matter your age. If you're about to graduate college, shout out to my BAs, all my associates graduates. Shout out to you all. If you're about to graduate with your master's degree, and you're degreed up like your girl over here who holds 2 master's degrees. Don't play with me. Shout out to you all. That is a massive milestone. Congrats to the class of 2025. I hope that you celebrate by doing all the things that bring you joy, because Lord knows, having to write those papers, the tests, you made it, you did it. Shout out to you all. Celebrate. But you'll see here is the Fisherman's Wharf area, and the last time I was actually here was around the Mardi Gras Festival, y'all. That was the last time we were here at Universal. And we actually ate over in that back area that you see my camera pointed to. And y'all, it was so beautiful. It was just nice to be able to try some good food, and I was shooketh because the food that I tried of what I got that day I was here for the Mardi Gras celebration was good. And your girl was shocked, to say the least. So it's really nice to be back in this area after it's been several weeks. So I'm excited that now that we're getting into the summertime season, that Universal is going to be staying open a little bit later. And here is the front of Lombards. And you'll see this is over by the San Francisco Pastry Company. We're going to head into the grill, and you see this nice view of the water out here. And it just looks so good. And we were able to book our reservations like not too far in advance. But if you are visiting from out of town, just be careful with that. If you want to try any of the sit-down restaurants, I don't think that they're as competitive as like if you're going to Disney. But still, it's always good to plan ahead, right? Let's make our way in. Welcome to Lombard's. Here's a little bit of the waiting area. I love that this is so spacious. And look at this beautiful fountain. I am so excited. I did not even know that this was back here. My co-producer was telling me about this restaurant. We have steps over to the top. This is beautiful. And here's the other side of the lobby. Again, a ton of space, which is really good because we already know it's going to be booked and busy here around the Memorial Day holiday from here on out until we get back into the fall. I'm so sorry. So we've just been seated. Take a look at this menu. I like that it is very straightforward. One side are the appetizers and entrees, and the other side are all drinks. Y'all, I'm not really sure what I'm going to get in terms of food, but check out the drink side. A great, nice little robust list of alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks alike. And you all know, what is Java and drinks without a bit of Java? Y'all know how I have an affinity for espresso martinis. So while it's not an espresso martini, I've never had a cold brew martini. So that should be good. Y'all know this is what we're getting. I cannot wait to try this out. And it says it is like a twist on a classic espresso martini with cold brew instead of espresso, with a hint of caramel. And shout out to them for not making me put them on blast. Like, honey, we don't have espresso, but we do have cold brew. There is a difference. Espresso, for those of you who may be unfamiliar, is just like a stronger shot of coffee. So I'm happy that they're at least very straightforward and honest about that, so I don't have to cuss them out in silence, because y'all know I'm not about to be belligerent on the camera. But yeah, I've never had a cold brew martini, so we're gonna try that out, and I'm gonna take a look at the menu and see what I'm going to get. So I think I have made my decision. So going back to the menu, we are going to start out with this ahi tuna. It has some chips, so I think it'll be a nice little appetizer to have. And then scrolling on down, I think my co-producer is actually going to get the lobster roll. Is that what you're landing on? This is one of their specials, so it'll be interesting to see if this is good. I have had a lobster roll or two in my time, especially when I'm in the Northeast, specifically Boston, and I love a good lobster roll, but I like mine with the hot butter and not with a lot of mayo. But I am going to opt for the shrimp Alfredo, but instead of shrimp, you all see here that they can actually substitute with Maine lobster. So your girl's gonna be fancy like, and we are going to do basically a lobster Alfredo. Here is the cold brew martini. And what I instantly noticed, and again, this is not an espresso martini, it's not as creamy around the top, but it does have our classic 3 coffee beans in it. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this turns out. And my co-producer actually ended up getting the margarita. Now, our waiter was bragging, saying that they house make their own mix. They don't use sweet and sour, which is fantastic because I do not like sweet and sour. But this looks good. It's very light in color, so it'll be interesting to see how fresh that turns out. We're gonna start off with our Java, y'all. I cannot wait to try this cold brew martini. Cheers. Thank you for joining me on this journey. That's really nice. I definitely taste that hint of caramel. It is not super sweet. That is delightful. It's not as strong and potent as what I've had in terms of an espresso martini. I do wish it was creamier at the top, but that is delicious. Not super refreshing. Like, it doesn't give me the summer vibes like the margarita would, but this feels like a nice, like, post-dinner cocktail. Let's try this margarita that my co-producer so graciously is allowing me to take a sip of. Shall we do another cheers? Why not? We'll have another round. Yeah, that is really good, y'all. There is something to a margarita that doesn't have a bunch of like artificial mixers in it. Getting it fresh with that lime, your tequila, all the good ingredients, it makes a world of a difference. Absolutely love it. Let's get into these entrees. We have our ahi tuna, which looks so good with that avocado, the radish at the top, the ahi tuna throughout it, and these fresh chips on the side. And then here is the French onion soup, which is actually another addition that my co-producer decided to add to his meal. I cannot wait to try these out, y'all. So we're gonna try to capture my thoughts of this in the moment. The ahi tuna, super fresh. The chips are crispy. Nothing tastes stale. The ahi tuna doesn't taste fishy. That is really good. I definitely recommend that. All right, y'all. We are gonna get into this French onion soup. Look at that pool. You see that steam. The onions. That looks absolutely incredible. Let's see if it tastes as good as it looks. That is really good. Has a nice like beefy flavor. If you're an onion lover, you probably are a big lover of French onion soup. I actually don't eat French onion soup that often, but this is delicious, especially if you're here in the winter. It's definitely given like cozy winter vibes in what is pretty much like a Florida summer right now, even though we're in April. So far, the appetizers are bomb. I definitely recommend these both. Our food has just arrived, so I'm gonna show you all really quick so we can get down to business before my family cusses me out. So, here is the lobster roll. The chips look really good. And here is my shrimp and lobster Alfredo. I cannot wait to get into this. And my sister ordered the burger, which looks also really good. Let's dig in. Y'all check out this shrimp and lobster. And this looks so good. Now, I think the true test is going to be the Alfredo taste, because I was expecting for it to look a little bit more saucy, but before we judge it, we're gonna try it. Just the noodles first. Baby, this is not Red Lobster. No shade to my baddies out there that love Red Lobster. Y'all, take a look at this. This lobster is so tender, perfectly cooked, not rubbery, not overcooked. And I was nervous, like, oh, is it going to have an Alfredo taste? Because I'm so used to like that traditional Red Lobster, like crab Alfredo, where it's just like smothered, or like the Olive Garden. This is so good. Four out of five for sure. Check out this lobster roll. Now this is a cold lobster roll. Sometimes, depending on, I think it's the main lobster roll, you all drop down in the comments, tell me if I'm right or wrong about that, but that one is served with drawn butter, super warm. This lobster roll, and I can't remember if it's like the Boston lobster, but basically it's served cold and it's like more mayonnaise base. Let's try it out. Yeah, that's really good. Again, y'all, the lobster, so tender. Now, I prefer the main lobster roll with the butter. I don't like the lobster rolls. Thank you. That's the mayonnaise base. That's not my cup of tea, but that lobster's tasty. And if you do prefer the, I feel like it is called like the Boston lobster that has like the mayonnaise and that's cold, that will be up your alley. If you like the main style that's served warm with the drawn butter, that's my jam. I prefer that than the mayonnaise-based lobster rolls. Friends, we are leaving Lombards and heading out. Oh yeah, thank you. Y'all, I'm so distracted. I'm trying to give you a good filming experience. My sister's like, you fool, you about to leave your food on the table. I cannot wait to eat that pasta tomorrow. But here's another shot. Y'all, the lobby as we head on out. That was so good. Thank you. And then here is a shot of the patio just so you all could see. And they just wrapped up the water show, which I have never seen. So hopefully one of these days I'll come back out to Universal and I'll check that out. Look how beautiful it is at night. And because the park is closed, it is pretty quiet. Thank you. Yeah, that was such a good experience. The food was really good. I highly recommend it. I definitely, and this is for as long as we've lived here in Florida, which is almost 2 years now, I have actually never been to Lombard. So I cannot wait to come back and try it again. But I also need to expand the different restaurants here at Universal just in general, because I'm so used to us like hanging out and maybe going to more of the quick service stuff and getting something and then like heading to the next ride. And of course I spend my most time here during Halloween Horror Nights, which I'm looking forward to this year. But yeah, the pasta was fantastic, y'all. I really don't have any complaints about anything. And not even like a complaint, but more so as a point of maybe like preference. I would have liked for the espresso martini, not espresso martini, the cold brew martini, there you go, to have a bit more creaminess. But I think that that's literally just because it's cold brew and it's not espresso. Because any of you all that have pulled an espresso shot from home, or maybe you love drinking espressos when you go out and about, you get that crema at the top. So I miss that. But that was tasty. That is the first cold brew martini I've ever had. And it was tasty. So like in terms of my pasta, you all know how I like to rate things. I'm very simple. Out of 5, I probably would give the pasta a 4. I think I said that at the table. My co-producer, his lobster roll, I would give that probably, what would you give it? He gives it a 4, which I think is appropriate. I probably shouldn't even rate it because I told you all I prefer the lobster rolls that have the drawn butter versus the mayo. So it's not my thing. My sister, her burger, which I didn't show it, her burger, in terms of like the inside, it was cooked perfectly because she got her burger. When you got your burger like medium, didn't you? Or medium well?
Medium well, but it was more medium.
Yeah. Her burger was not overcooked. It was juicy. She said it was really good. The fries were all right. I tried JD's fries and I felt like they just needed to be cooked a little while longer. So just some time in the air fryer, it'll be perfect. So yeah, y'all, I highly recommend Lombards. If you happen to come over here to Universal, like make your way over there, especially if you are a seafood lover, if your family also has an affinity for good seafood, nothing tastes fishy. Also, I would say to that, there are some non-seafood options. They have steak, they have chicken tenders. My sister got a burger. So even if you're with folks that are not big into seafood, there is an option there for you. So with that being said, y'all, thank you for joining me on another Java journey here at Universal Studios Florida. Drop down in the comments if there are other places you recommend. And also, are you planning on coming out to Universal Studios Florida in the summer? Let your girl know. Keep watching a lot of my videos. You all know sprinkled throughout, I give you some tips and advice and guidance for how to deal with this Florida heat that can be very intense and oppressive. But you will have a good time if you come out here to Universal. And stay tuned. I have my second visit to Epic Universe coming out real soon. Also, I have some work trips planned, so your girl may be out of pocket for the next couple of weeks. But you all know that I will be coming right back to you with all the enthusiasm I can muster after a long work day. And fun fact, because you all know how I love to do things here at Java and Journeys, I'm actually traveling back to the West Coast for work. I'm going to San Francisco, then I'm heading over to Seattle. I am hoping to get some footage while I'm in Seattle because that is not necessarily what I would consider like, I'm not going there for work, but I will be working. And what I love about that is that it gives me a little bit more freedom, I feel like, to do some filming and bring you all along with me. I love Seattle, y'all. I lived in Seattle for almost 10 years, went to grad school in Seattle. A lot of my friends are in Seattle. So you all know Java and Journeys. I'm hoping to take you all to a couple of coffee shops because the coffee hits so different in the Pacific Northwest than anywhere else. It is the best in the Pacific Northwest, bar none. So stay tuned for that in the upcoming weeks down the road. With that being said, I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. Stay caffeinated out there, and I'll catch you on the next journey. Bye.